kind of a community-oriented, open workshop for people, largely technology-oriented, people that are into electronics, programming, computers, science, you name it. That's kind of what we're after. And we try to offer facilities that people can come to and work in when they might not have those facilities or expertise at home. Everybody has their workshop at home, but it's nice to have a place where you can come down and work on projects with other people and brainstorm and produce as a group. On the bottom, you got these holes, and so as air forces in, it pushes water out, which changes the buoyancy of the sub and brings it up. If you want to dive, you open the other valve, which lets water flood the tanks, and it gets heavier and sinks into the water. At the same time, we've got, well, I have it off right now. There's some pressure gauges in here, things like that to monitor. There'll be some onboard sensors, some temperature, pressure, moisture, that kind of thing. The whole deal will be controlled by a tether. There's going to be an Ethernet tether coming out the back that comes up to the surface for control and power. So there's no battery on board. I don't have to worry about it running out of juice while it's underwater. And if something happens, say the software died or I ran out of air, I can always just haul it out by hand. So I wouldn't worry about losing an actual piece of hardware. We've got a lot of projects going on. There's the submersible ROV right here that I've been working on. We have a keypad remote lock that we recently installed at the front door. That was all custom built. There's an LED balloon that's been an ongoing project for a while that involves a helium-filled weather balloon with an LED display inside it, so it kind of lights up and glows. Some guys are working on that for some music shows around Erie here. I'm not sure what else we have going on right now, Scott. Do you think of anything?
Rob is working on a CNC.
Oh yeah, Rob's always got the CNC.
He's always working on that. I'm doing the Minty Boost and the cell phone stuff. I'm doing a lot of the kits from Radio Shack. I really like the maker movement as a whole, so I try to encourage that. And those kits are what I do is for my own projects, just to make sure everything's good. I'm not as strong with some of the technology as other people are. However, I am a strong educator, and I want to begin to teach very awesome classes on anything from business to computers or technology in general.
We've done other classes too. We've done
bread making.
We did the Arduino class. If you're familiar with Arduinos, we've done a class where we started from absolute scratch and we designed a circuit board for an Atmega chip that is the heart of an Arduino. It's just a basic prototyping platform. And we went through the process of building that circuit board, actually etching it with various etchants and attaching the components, and people get to have their own Arduino for like $3 or something worth of materials. It really normally costs about $30, I think.
Sounds right.
But yeah, it's just kind of a fun project that actually gets you to produce something that you can use later to build more projects.
Right. I mean, an Arduino, a Raspberry Pi. These are all platforms that a lot of makers and makerspaces uses in order to make something new. It's just a base level of technology. It's kind of like, I don't know, the internet. The internet allows people to do internet marketing. It allows people to do all sorts of other things. It's this base technology that people build on top of to make something more.
As an example, this is a teensy Duino. I don't know if you can get this in the shot at all. That's effectively what we were building as part of our class. Ours weren't this small because we were doing a beginner level course. There's a lot of surface mount stuff on here, but that's the kind of thing we're going for. And this is a prototyping platform. You can load software on here. You can connect it to hardware. You can make lights blink. You can make doors open. You can make motors turn. You can read sensors, all sorts of stuff. So it's really a general purpose piece of hardware that we wanted people to be able to build themselves, and so we offered a little class on how to do that. So, exploration really. You get one of these, and it's not like you have a computer. You have this little thing, this tiny little thing that you can embed in something and make a robot that you can play with or read sensors. I was, as a random example, I've got another project I'm working on with something like this. Moisture monitors, remote moisture monitors that have just a couple probes that stick in the soil, and they communicate over a radio frequency mesh network back to a home base, and you can just take these things and chuck them down in the grass or in the woods or in a vineyard if you want to, and continually monitor the moisture level at each of those sensors out in the soil. It's really easy to do that with something like this, and it's just it's whatever you can think of really is what you can do with it.
One of the things that's really nice about a makerspace is the whole thought process and the fact that other guys have either done what you've done, had the same problems that you have, or they know where to look. They know the right questions to ask that you might have overlooked. Say if I built a circuit or something and I wasn't getting adequate power, but I don't know that at all. All my components are working individually. I could maybe ask Greg. And Greg, well, did you check the current on it? You check the voltage on the project? Boom, there it is. I built the CNC. I couldn't figure out how to get, all the motors to move. They have like these little test leads. You remember helping me with that?
Yeah, we figured it out.
I brought it in, literally, he fixed it in like 10 minutes and it was running, and I was so excited. I was so held back by that on the whole project, and I was so I don't want to say depressed about it, but I just felt like I had failed at that point in time. And Greg's like, no, you got to change the pins on the port, and call somebody at Hogwarts and use magic, and there you go, it's done. It's really nice to have the camaraderie and the thought of all the other brains in one spot, dude. It's like what's that called? Neural networking. Yeah.
Well, and it helps too. I mean, if you are doing something flat out wrong and you bring it down here and say, guys, what's going wrong with this? It's not like someone's going to say, oh, you're sorry, Rob, that was a really stupid way to do it. It doesn't happen. You say, oh, no, this is wrong, but let's figure out how to do it right, and we do. And that's like what happened with the mill. It was just we didn't know what was going wrong, and so we tinkered with it, and eventually we got the darn thing working. And now your mill works better than mine.
Yeah, now I'm just always playing with it. Just don't even pay attention to my girlfriend at all. I'm just always playing with my robots.
Even the time when I was up there, I couldn't figure out the one problem with the class, and you were like regular expressions, and I'm like, duh, and it's just off the top of your head. I was stuck. I was mentally
There's always
stuck
something.
there.
You can always find someone that knows something about what you're working on.
Yeah,
it's learning, this exploration. It's science. Whatever.
Science. Yeah. It's all about the whole open source community, man. Open source, open hardware. It's how you have a lot of guys that'll maybe put patents on something but make it free reign. It's more to protect themselves. Like Bree Pettis with MakerBot, they have that patent on the automatic parts conveyor, whatever that is, the heated bed. But at the same time, Bree Pettis is just like, well, I'm not trying to prevent other people from making a version of it. I'm just trying to protect, what I originally made. But if everybody else is doing something and has the same idea, I'm not going to stop them. It's all about, furthering, tinkering, furthering technology, furthering really, society as a whole.